friends, welcome back to Leanne Presents. I'm Leanne, and that's Alan. And it is WrestleMania weekend. We just finished watching WrestleMania Saturday, which aired last night, way past our bedtime. So we
I technically it aired this morning for us, because it started like 1 a.m.
The wee hours.
The wee hours.
We watched, I think we saw some of the pre-show before we went to sleep.
2-hour pre-show with 0 matches.
0 matches. So we watched a little bit before going to bed, but
yeah,
you know, it's not that engaging when you've seen all the stuff leading up. I kind of get it. If you haven't seen any of the build-up, it's good to get that lead. But
then they show the same stuff during the card event anyway, so
many recaps.
You know, we watched on YouTube. I think they showed it on Twitch and Facebook as well. I think at the same time. Slight tangent, but they showed Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor pre-show. They had, and I commented on this yesterday when we were watching it, because we're going to get the Supercard of Honor and we're going to watch it either today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I like the way they kind of went into it, because it's a rebooting almost of Ring of Honor, and they were like, hey, you know, I'm Jonathan Gresham, I'm this guy, and then you had like I'm Rhett Tyler or everything else.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's not going, oh, I've done this and I've done that. It was, oh yeah, this is me. This is I've got this guy fighting. Great. And it was like 30 seconds for each person.
Super quick intro, so that new people are like, okay, I know who that is now. But it's not like condescending. It's not shoving it down your throat. But it's just, you know who this is now, so you can enjoy.
And there was a total of 4 matches on the pre-show.
Yeah.
4.
I don't quite get how they can get people ready for a show like WrestleMania without any sort of small matches to lead up. It's just interviews and recaps and crowd shots. But there we go. So we didn't watch the whole of the pre-show because what's the point? It's not for us. It's fine. Yeah. So we'll just go straight into the
meat and bones.
Meat and bones of WrestleMania Saturday, day 1 of the most stupendous 2-night WrestleMania ever. Although they sort of dropped the 2 nights, so they keep saying it's the most stupendous WrestleMania ever, which that's a lot to live up to. So maybe cool it with that. So we opened with Brantley Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Singing "America the Brave," as is tradition that someone sings it. He's an award-winning country music artist from Texas. I didn't exactly enjoy that. Country music isn't my thing.
Something sounded off as well.
The harmonies were wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, it does seem... I haven't seen many WrestleManias, like, as they've been happening, like, the day after. But the America the Brave bit always seems a bit cringe. Something always seems off, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they do that before every Raw and SmackDown where they just don't air it, I think. Don't quote me on that one, but I'm pretty sure I heard that.
America!
Don't, because we're a PG channel.
That's why I ended it then.
But like Lillian Garcia, the former ring announcer, she's got a cracking set of lungs on her, a good voice, you know. And she'd always do it every Raw, every SmackDown, and they'd always have it before the show, and then it would start the show, because you wouldn't necessarily see that. So.
No, not
unless it was something like they did it on the 9/11 show.
Yeah, that's
the
fair.
first one after 9/11, I think they did that.
Yeah,
on the show itself.
Sense. But yeah, so that was that. You can't have WrestleMania without hearing that song, however badly it's done. Ooh,
oh, by God, Rags came out of nowhere!
Star of the show. He's getting long whiskers on his legs, look.
Oh, look at that. Don't talk about my long whiskers.
So after Brantley Gilbert, which it took me by surprise. I'd written down Bradley when they said it, and then I saw it on the screen. It's like, oh, Brantley.
Yeah, Brantley.
Sure, that's a name. So we had as is tradition in Texas, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders that came up and they did a cheer to Part of Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Mm-hmm.
So that was alright.
Yeah.
I mean, cheerleading's not something that I would watch, but I mean, they got skills. I found it really odd that they are all exactly the same height and like waist size.
Yeah. Some of the female wrestlers, and probably some of the guys actually, did come from cheerleading background. So
I mean, that sport really does build crazy strength and control and sort of...
All I kind of remember was there was the Spirit Squad.
Mm-hmm.
You won't know about this, but there was a group of male cheerleaders as a faction once, of 5 male cheerleaders, and it was horrendous.
Oh, no.
And if I remember correctly, this is a long time ago, if I remember correctly, Dolph Ziggler was one of them. That's how he made his debut, if I remember correctly.
No, that makes sense in my head.
It's a long time ago, so I'm not 100% on my memory of that, but I'm 95% certain Dolph Ziggler was one of them. So, yeah.
Nice. All right, then we go into our first match of WrestleMania. It was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Usos.
You got to do it right, Leanne. Rick
Boogs and Shinsuke
Nakamura.
I hate it, but I kind of...
Rags was like, what's going on?
Yeah, but... So, I mean, Boogs did his usual thing.
Didn't do the AO. I think they stopped him doing that now. I think too many people must have been complaining about it or something.
I think they're maybe trying to tone down. They're trying to be Freddy, which is good. But he had McAfee dancing on the table. But I think because it's WrestleMania and they were doing little recap bits in between, he was dancing for a long time and he proper gassed himself out. It was great.
He's going to get so gassed in his match tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah, it's Sunday tonight. Yeah, I'm losing track of what day it is. I've just had like an amazing moment of watching something at WrestleMania. So I'm not going to spoil it. My shirt's a bit riding up, so I'm not going to.
There were so many Austin 316 shirts in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, it's all different kinds of loads of Stone Cold shirts.
So many Stone Cold shirts. So like you'd have just a sea of people, and there'd just be you just spot them all over the place.
So I think you said like during this match, let's see how many we can count. And I was like, no, let's not.
We'll be here forever.
We'll be here all night.
This felt like quite a short match. I don't know if it's just because of my perception or because it was the first one on the card.
I think it might have been because of that finish.
Yeah.
They might have had to call the match end quick.
Probably. So we're not going to spend too long on each match just because we always go on sidetracks and we don't want the video to be 3 hours long.
The most stupendous WrestleMania Saturday reactions video of all time.
So Boogs had one of the Usos. I'm sorry, I'm never going to remember which one's which.
I know,
I have a problem.
Yeah.
He had one of them up on his shoulders to do
something.
And the other one, gets onto one of the ropes and leaps on top. Whether it was meant to be him leaping on top or as in he was going to counter something and Boogs meant to catch him.
I think it was meant to, because it looked like he was priming to take the weight of both of them.
So he was going to take the weight of both. But his knee... Boogs'
I think
right
he had
knee.
him for about maybe 5, 6, 7 seconds.
Yeah,
something like that.
It looked a little shaky, but then
his knee just gave out.
He went down. It's one of those things where you can't tell if that was part of the story or if it was a real injury. But I mean, he has had some issues with his knees before that they've sort of played up in the storyline.
Yeah,
which makes it a bit harder to tell again. But he did find out then afterwards that he'd had to be literally carried to the back after the match. So I think they wouldn't have done that if it wasn't a real
They
injury.
did announce later on in the night as well, getting a little ahead of ourselves, but just because we're on the topic of this match, tore his patella quad. So he's tore the tendon in his quad. Oof. And he's going to need surgery in the next few days. So if that's the same one I'm thinking of, that's the one that Triple H did. Oh, no. When he went to do the pedigree on that table years ago, and he jumped up and they tore off the kneecap and just rolled up his leg. Because that was he tore his quad. It's that muscle there.
That's horrible. So he's probably going to be out for a little bit.
I'd imagine they'll put something up either today or tomorrow.
Expect so. Just to update everyone. Yeah. So we hope that he gets better soon. Just because we don't like someone's gimmick doesn't mean we wish harm to anyone. So hopefully he'll be back with us, doing his crazy stuff and annoying us before long.
Yeah. What they need to do is have him grow all his hair out, shave his moustache off when he comes back and be like a death metal guitarist. Oh. Like a bitter and sour kind of... Yeah. Gone from like a AC/DC kind of, rock, to just grindy grunge kind of... Oh, that'd be great.
What a twist. Yeah. That'd be cool. So I guess... After that, I suppose they had to wrap up the match kind of quickly. That's what it felt like. I
think that's why your perception of it was quite quick. Yeah.
And Shinsuke did get some good solo time in, which I'm glad of. Not because of the injury, obviously, but he's so good, and I want him to have that spotlight to himself sometimes. The Usos were great as usual. Again, not a huge fan of the gimmick, but they are an outstanding tag team. With just the hot tags just flying across the ring to get to the partner, all those team moves, and it's a great team, and they won. They pulled off a 1D on Shinsuke and got the pin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a bad start to WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was a decent opening match. I've seen worse. I've seen much worse.
I felt a bit... It took a few matches for me to feel like this was WrestleMania, if that makes sense.
I think for me the problem is that I've always got that one thing that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Or the one sort of...
You were just waiting for
the
main event, basically.
Yeah, effectively.
Which is, I mean, it kind of did overshadow a lot of stuff, didn't it? We'll get to it. Cool. Anything you want to say about that match? Awesome. We had a recap of the Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville story. It sort of made me think that sort of on Saturday they're doing a load of recaps for the Sunday matches. So then is Sunday going to feel a lot smoother because they haven't got as much to recap on?
No, because they're going to still show the recaps. I guarantee it.
Because on the Saturday they're showing Saturday and Sunday recaps.
Yeah.
So on the Sunday they're going to show Saturday recaps.
They might show, this happened last night.
Oh, of course, yeah.
They might do that. But they're still going to show all the recaps for all the individual matches on the Sunday. I guarantee that.
There's just so much dead time in between matches, and I don't know what people in the audience are
So
doing.
one thing, just as a precursor to all the stuff that's going on this show, there's only six matches and the KO show. The Kofi Kingston Xavier Woods versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland match, apparently due to time constraints, got bumped to Sunday. So that's now happening tonight instead.
It makes you think how Sunday's going to run if they've got a whole extra match.
But it also makes you think, if they're not showing all these recaps, if they're not showing the Sasha Banks video, if they're not showing the Bobby Lashley video and all this other stuff, they would have had time for this tag team match.
That's very true.
So why are they showing so much of this?
Just do it on the pre-show?
Yeah. You've already had a 2-hour pre-show where I guarantee you've shown all of this stuff already. So why do it on the main event?
Yeah.
People want to pay for a premium live event to watch the premium live content. Not something you can watch for free on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, pre-shows are usually an hour long. This one was 2 hours long.
Why?
Is there a pre-show for Sunday? Probably. Is that going to be 2 hours long? Probably.
Are there going to be any matches on it?
Probably not. Or they'll bump the Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Rich Holland, Sheamus match to that.
Because I can't imagine if they ran out of time Saturday, how on earth are they going to fit a whole match into a Sunday card unless they've left space? Or they'll probably make the women's match.
They won't be able to because there were 7 matches on each card.
Yeah. Don't know. Okay. Next match on WrestleMania Saturday was I think I've... Oh, sorry. I thought I'd skipped way ahead there. Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
This was a good match. It was good.
It was not what I was expecting.
No.
I was expecting it to be effectively Drew flexing his pecs for like 5 minutes, beating the crap out of Corbin and winning.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot more.
Corbin had a really good outing in this match.
Yes, he did.
Which I really liked. You know, Corbin's talented. I've said this before.
Yeah.
You know, I like Baron Corbin. Not Happy Corbin. I
No.
like Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
The original Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
NXT Baron Corbin. The guy that would go in the match and they'd ring the bell, the crowd would start going 1, 2, 3, 4, and counting the seconds, because he would usually be done in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because he would just steamroll over people, because he was that good.
Yeah.
You know?
He was dominant for the first half of the match, pretty much. He had complete control, basically. And then Madcap Moss was up on the apron, sort of celebrating, like, yay, you did
Yay, beat him, you got this.
But he was standing where Corbin needed to go to bounce off the ropes for a move. So then Corbin starts yelling at him, obviously gets distracted, goes to bounce off the ropes, and Drew catches him and turns the tide.
Yeah.
Which was a shame to see, I think. But it's
they're
adding to the
furthering this,
storyline.
with Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin.
That was good. Other maybe annoying things. Drew McIntyre kicking out at the end of days.
Yeah, that annoyed me.
The first ever person to kick out of that move.
He doesn't hit it that much these days because
No.
he's not really in the position to win matches.
No.
So when you make his finishing move look cheap.
Yeah. Because you've always had this thing about a finishing move should be a finishing move.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that to some extent. At some point, it feels like you can't have something that's invincible, so something has to beat it. And if you're going to do it, WrestleMania's the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't the only time the finishing move got kicked out of on this show. So it's a bit like... Just
as a quick side note, brief side note on that one, do you know what the worst example of a finishing move being turned into a regular move is?
No?
DDT.
Yeah.
The DDT was Jake the Snake Roberts' finishing move. He's the one to come up with it. He drove it through, and when he hits him with the DDT, no one will kick out.
No.
Now, DDT is just a normal move in a match.
Yeah.
Get asked. No.
So we don't want this to become that. The end of days. If someone's gonna kick out of it, it's gotta be like a spectacular sort of occasion.
Or if you're gonna do that, do it on a rope break. That's totally fine. You know?
I mean, Drew's big, but Corbin's big too, so it's not like he could power his way out. And it wasn't like it was a lax cover or anything. Oh, Rags.
Oh, you're Rags. Oh, there he is.
Heard him sneaking around. So Drew then wins with a Claymore.
Surprise, surprise.
Second attempt at a Claymore. The first one, he counted down, and we're always like, if you're counting down, the person knows you're coming, so they'll get out of the way. Which happened the first time, but not the second.
Yeah.
I suppose the more worn out you get, the less you're aware of people clearly projecting what they're about to do. So Drew wins. We should have gone back to our predictions after the first match.
That's fine. We'll tell you when we're wrong, basically.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest way to do it. And then what happened, Leanne?
So Madcap got back up on the apron and started coming through the ropes, seemingly to maybe attack Drew McIntyre. But Drew has Angela the sword and sort of points it towards...
As opposed to his mother. He's not brandishing his
late mother.
Late mother.
Okay, let's just skip over that.
Yeah.
Pretend we never said that bit.
Yeah.
And then comes towards the ropes, wields it over his head. Madcap Moss jumps down, and Drew swipes down and cuts the top two ropes. Just slices them.
Yeah. That was, I don't know.
And they added sound effects.
It sounded like a lightning effect. Or a thunder,
like
rather.
a bang
yeah,
or
like
something.
like a thunder strike.
It's like...
I don't know, it was...
I mean, if you're going to cut the ropes,
weird.
just cut the ropes. Don't add anything.
The problem is, they're like, oh, they're steel cables, but you can clearly see they're not.
Yes.
You could clearly see it was just a rope.
But I mean, even if it is just a rope, slicing through with a sword, that's a sharp sword.
Depends if you've been weakened.
True. And how taut they are as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was interesting. It's fun to get.
I think that would have been better if they hadn't stuck in that stupid sound effect.
Yeah, it would, because the ropes would not have made that sound. They might have made a bit of a noise.
Like the turnbuckles and the metal things hitting the posts. That was fine.
You didn't need anything extra.
No.
But then he goes and like waves his sword around right next to the crowd, and we're like, ooh.
It's like, oh, if that thing's that sharp, what are you doing brandishing that next to the front row, mate?
Oh,
damn, dude.
Another enjoyable match.
Yeah.
Again, didn't exactly feel like a super WrestleMania kind of match. But
no.
They can't all be. Otherwise, everyone will be
that's the whole point,
exhausted.
man. It's the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time.
I know.
And you got Drew McIntyre cutting the ropes in half. Like, how stupendous is that ring crew? Not very, apparently.
That poor ring crew had to just do the whole ropes again. That's how you do it. Hey, baby. Next, we have Rey and Dominik Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul.
That guy. I can't even say what I put on my thing about that guy.
So Rey and Dominik's entrance took me by surprise, just because you said that Rey's done this previously.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it before. So it sort of like made me laugh a bit, because they're like, there's the trapdoor riser things under the stage at the top.
Yeah, it shoots them up.
And they go up and they jump. It looks a bit funny.
Yeah, it's a staple. Rey Mysterio do it all the time.
I think it looks better with Rey because he's smaller and he does the jumpy stuff. But Dominik's kind of a bit gangly sometimes.
Sometimes.
He's a tall boy. And he's just like leaping in the air, giant grin on his face. Like, oh, bless him. So that was fun. Logan Paul's entrance. He had... I don't understand why. Apart from... Okay, I understand why, because he's a show-off.
Yeah, he's flashing his money in everyone's faces.
So he had, like, this gaudy gold necklace.
Goldy gold.
Gaudy.
Oh, gaudy. I thought you said goldy gold. It's like, what, as opposed to silvery gold?
Gaudy. With a bejeweled Pokeball and then from it was a framed Pokemon card.
It's the grading thing, isn't it? The like comics is, I think it's called CCG in comics condition grading. So you send a comic to, for example, off to this company. They will grade your comic, put it in a special case, and then give it a rating.
And
so it's one of those.
This is a 1-of-1 Pokemon card, like the rarest one ever. There's only one of this thing.
Yeah, it's something to do with Pikachu and like an artist's version or something.
It's a Pikachu card. And him and The Miz were wearing yellow and black. Whether, I think on purpose, to be like Pikachu. It's a bit like, why? I don't know. Just flash your money. Yeah, great. Good job. So that started off. But I guess he's trying to be the heel. So if the only way for him to be a heel properly is to flash his money about and have controversy in your past.
Just be yourself, mate. You're enough of a heel as it is because you're an absolute tool.
So this, I mean, the Mysterio's awesome.
One thing, and I think we said this, Dominik is getting so much better.
He is. He's pulled off some really, really good moves.
I don't think he's just learning from his dad. I think he's learning from a lot of the other guys in the back. He might even go down to the NXT place. Performance Center.
I keep wondering, because I know they've said before that the reason Dominik Mysterio doesn't have a mask is because you have to earn a luchador mask. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's going to get to that, where he gets one?
Yeah.
So I think that would be
Who's to say? I think last year at WrestleMania they were sort of teasing this, and it's been a bit where there was kind of a friction between them. Who's to say it doesn't go to, at some point down the line, Dominik versus Ray in a Dominik gets a mask if he wins and Ray retires if he loses match.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So then when Ray's ready to hang up the boots, he'd be like, right, okay, I'll give the rug to my son, I'll let him go over, and he will gain his mask through that.
That would be like the most passing on the torch moment. That would be really good. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. But I think that's maybe a couple of years off, because I think Dominik's he's getting there, but he's still greener than baby doo-doo.
Yeah, he needs to build his own identity as well.
The problem I've got is that Ray's with him every single time.
Yes.
He needs to go out there and start doing stuff on his own. Get his dad to stay in the back.
Actually, they tried that.
But... Well, that's what I mean, but they need to stick to it. He needs to... Ray needs to be like, right, okay, he's my son. Like, I get it. Like, if I had a child, I'd be doing the same sort of thing.
Yes.
But there's a time where you kind of have to let them go out on their own, make their own mistakes, make their own accomplishments.
Make his own name. He's not just living... He's not just there because Ray helped him get into the business. Yeah, so they were great. Obviously, The Miz is great because he's awesome. Logan Paul annoyed me, but it's part of what he is.
That's just his face.
It was the Three Amigos got me.
No, it's not. It's just his face.
It's just his face.
His face.
He looks like a
jackass.
Yeah. Yeah, he pulled off the Three Amigos after Rey Mysterio went for the Three Amigos and the third one didn't take.
Just because I'm not sure if you know this. Do you know the significance of the Three Amigos?
It was name. It's gone. Guerrero.
Which one?
I can see his face. But because we were watching some of the Supercard of Honor thing, and I've got Chavo Guerrero in his nose. And then Vicky Guerrero's in my head.
Vicky Guerrero was the wife, Chavo Guerrero was the nephew.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I have brain problems.
Do you see what I have to put up with?
Yeah. I knew the significance. The name slipped my mind.
And then when he went to the top and he did the shoulder shuffle, that's Eddie as well.
Logan Paul, please no. I know, it's the heel
Logan
thing.
Paul, bugger off back to where the hell you came from.
It's like he's trying to go in with the heel stuff, but it's like if The Miz does that, he's an established heel. We get it, we boo because we love it kind of thing. If someone from outside comes in and disrespects that, it's not... Yeah, you're doing it because that's what heels do. You aren't a heel. You're an outsider coming in and pretending to be a heel.
Yeah.
And that got me.
That's that annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah, I don't know whose idea it was to do that, but nope. So we had the Mysterios managed to get Logan Paul set up to do the double 619.
Yeah.
But Miz got a blind tag in.
Yeah, that was because we saw him kind of jump up and then he just dived out of vision.
So
and it was
came into frame for a split second.
What happened there? We thought something had gone wrong, or
Yeah, but they get the 619, and then I'm not even sure what move Miz pulled off, but
I think it's Skull Crushing Finale, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. I
think it was his finisher on. I want to say
on Ray. Yeah, he pinned him for the win. So much to our unhappiness,
that's one of the ones we got wrong.
Miz and Logan Paul win
the match.
And the commentators are like, "Ooh, are they the future tag team champs?" And we're like, "Nope."
Logan Paul can go home now. Thanks.
What was good though, after the victory.
Wow.
Yeah.
It has its moments.
After they won, obviously Logan Paul and the Miz are in the ring, arms up, and then the Miz just turns.
I kind of love because he's like,
he's so good. And then he does a skull crushing finale on Logan Paul.
Yes!
Whee! And then gets out of there.
But the problem is, that's now going to lead into a feud between these two, which means we haven't seen the end of that moron.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Why are they lumping the Miz with this piece of trash? I don't understand.
I know. It's like... It's not fair on other wrestlers. We've been there, we've said it. It's all in our predictions video. So if you want to hear us rant about him, go back there. Okay. Anything else you wanted to say about that match?
No. Cool. No, I've given enough time to Logan Paul in this video, thanks.
Okay, then we had a recap of the Edge and AJ Styles build-up.
Yep.
And then we had Stephanie McMahon come out.
Oh yeah.
They weren't expecting this, and everyone's like, "What's she gonna say?" Because she'll only come out if there's something significant, really.
Usually, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's introducing Gable Steveson,
mm-hmm.
who we saw. Was it last WrestleMania?
I think it was. Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think so. He's been shown a couple of times. I think
it was after the Olympics.
Yeah, because he obviously won the gold medal.
Yeah.
Was it SummerSlam? It might have been SummerSlam, not WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But then they did say on Raw a few weeks back that he's won his second NCAA championship.
So that's great. So he's had a contract with WWE for a short while.
He signed, maybe a couple of months ago.
We haven't seen much of him yet because obviously he's doing other
NCAA,
things and probably training as well. What's
the one thing that you said about him, Leanne?
What, his cardigan?
His cardigan.
He had like a knitted cardigan on with nothing on underneath.
Do you think his nan made it?
I think maybe. But like he was like going, yeah, and you could see between the buttons.
Bless him.
Bless him.
But and then I think the commentator said something about him being on Raw on Monday.
Yes, I think so.
If I remember rightly.
So it'll be good to see him in action, see him in the ring a bit.
We don't even know if that's the case yet. He might not be ring ready.
He might not be.
Like amateur wrestling and professional wrestling are two very different things. So.
Because he's sort of now it feels like now he's introduced. He's at least a step closer.
Yeah. He's because I think he was training for the NCAA. They didn't want to bring him in at that point because it would have distracted him. But now that's done. Yeah. He can focus solidly on WWE.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see what kind of character he is and. How they use it.
I think they might end up. I don't know if you saw much of this. I can't remember how long it was. But they might try and do like a Jason Jordan kind of thing because it was him and Chad Gable, and they were sort of amateur wrestlers turned professional wrestlers. They might maybe try and fill that void of Jason Jordan, possibly.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or the one thing they might try and do is imitate Kurt Angle, which I don't want them to do.
No.
There's only one Kurt Angle.
I mean, the guy didn't even wear his medal when they did the procession thing, and he was with the other lady who had her medal. So I got it, and he was like,
"Dumbass!
I left mine in the hotel.
Mine got stolen, so I left it in the hotel." Yeah.
Oh goodness! All right, moving on to the Raw Women's Championship, which was Becky Lynch defending against Bianca Belair. It's all right.
Yeah, it was decent. A decent match. Becky's still carrying her.
Yes, definitely. Becky is definitely the better of the two. So Becky entered in I think it's an SUV kind of.
Yeah, it was like
Just drove up onto the stage and then she walked down. Like, all right. They usually have some pretty big entrances in WrestleMania, and I was a bit disappointed this year. But maybe WrestleMania Sunday will have more.
Yeah, maybe.
So then we Bianca Belair entrance with a marching band.
It was awful.
It wasn't great. I mean,
it took me a little time to figure out what they were playing, mind.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like,
Because it's quite, obviously marching band, I guess it's the style, it's quite bouncy the way they're playing. And obviously they're dancing about as well. But then what I found a bit odd is that they played and then they stopped.
Yeah.
And then her music started.
And then they started playing
and
again.
then they played over it. It's like, if you're going to have a band out for the entrance, have the entrance to what
time
they're
it,
playing.
yeah. Or time it to play at a certain point so they carry on going.
Yeah.
That works too.
So it's a bit weird. But, I mean, cool. That band got some exposure on, I don't know, international TV, pretty much.
Worldwide,
so good for them.
I think they said, was it the Dallas University?
It was some
marching
university.
band? Something
I'm not
like
sure
that.
what the city was. I don't think it was Dallas.
Can't remember. Anyway,
it's cool. Becky's hair looks cool.
Yeah.
Looks really cool. It's
I'm kind of annoyed
orange.
that they showed it off before Mania. Though.
Yeah, it was all over social media. It would have been interesting as just a reveal.
Yeah, like, oh, is she bald? Oh, speculation here. How short she cut it?
Yeah.
Is it a bob? Is it,
But it looks really good.
Yeah,
it's
it
quite
does.
choppy.
It suits her.
What were you saying? She looks a bit like Cyndi Lauper.
That's right, yeah.
That kind
That's
of
that sort of
style.
hairstyle, yeah. And then she took her glasses off and she's got two massive red chunk of makeup under her eyes. And I'm like, oh, that looks odd.
Orangey kind of. I don't know. It sort of matched the hair a bit.
I don't know, I just felt a bit over the top.
Fair enough. It made her face look different.
Because there was nothing on the top of her eyes. It was all underneath.
Yeah, it was like...
So it looked like somebody had smacked her in both eyes and she's got two shiners coming up on her cheeks.
Interesting choices. But she had more of a sort of aggressive style than I think she's had before.
Yeah, I mean, to be
ramped up a
fair, Bianca cut her hair off.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be a bit PO'd if you had someone do that?
Definitely.
Let's get the scissors and find out, kids.
There were a lot of pinfalls. No. Pinfall attempts. A few close calls. I think Becky just wanted to get it done as soon as.
I'm surprised. I'm sick of seeing Bianca as well.
The thing that I found put me off a bit was near to the end of the match where Becky just like laid it in on Bianca and she was completely out of it. And then at the very last second...
Oh, the counter, yeah.
She
hit the manhandle slam on the stairs.
Yeah, that's right. So
and the rest
Bianca's
started
just
counting.
completely out of it, not moving at all. It gets to, 8.5?
Yeah.
And then suddenly, Bianca's up,
I'm back in the ring.
Fine.
Yeah.
And that happened, it wasn't the same, but a second time as well, where she seemed to be completely out. And it's not like a recovery where you're like, oh, I'm back. Oh, I'm all right. I need a minute. It was, I'm fine. And it just isn't believable.
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, Alan. I really did used to like Bianca Belair. I did. And we've talked about it before, so I won't go into it again, but...
Stagnant.
But she wins.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair hits the kiss of death, KOD, and is the new Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah, we had that one wrong.
Yeah.
I'm so gutted over that one.
Yeah. Becky just is such a great champion. Whatever role she's playing, she really pulls it off. And this is just going to be exactly the same as when Belair had it before. There's not going to be any difference.
Then the problem now is going to be WrestleMania Backlash. It will be like Becky going, oh, well, I got my title rematch. Let's and it'll be the same match. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, not again. Really?
I don't know. Maybe they'll figure a way to do something different. I'm trying to be optimistic.
I can't open my eyes any wider than that, Leanne. I feel like the Briscoes.
They have big eyes. Okay.
What's next?
This is Seth Rollins versus...
Question mark. Blank.
I've written down Seth's entrance with the Hindu choir.
Oh, God.
So, in Seth's theme music, there's the bit that has the... I can't even think off the top of my head how it goes, but all the crowd is like singing along.
Yeah.
It's like, bit. They don't start the music. They just have this like choir of ragtag people in...
Maybe about 20.
Yeah, so you got some women in
maybe
sort of
30.
Sparkly tops and cowboy hats. And then some men in like, I don't know...
Like waistcoat
stuff.
Texas-style waistcoats.
Yeah. And they're just doing the OOOs bit. to nothing, just a cappella. I think trying to get the crowd to do it as well, and I couldn't tell if they did, because these guys, it wasn't like a proper choir or anything. They were just like people in the crowd that would be doing it.
I think the crowd were like us. They were like,
huh? Like, is this meant to be a spectacular entrance?
did someone just bum rush the stage? Where's security?
But then again, they did that for a bit, and then they started Seth's music.
Yeah.
And then they joined in with the USOs again.
It's Bianca Belair, part 2.
Yeah, it's like, when did you lose your budget? You had to get some people off the street? Just played them the music.
You know where the budget? You know where all the budget went, right?
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna say it or am I gonna say it?
That's in the ring.
No. The budget went on Stone Cold beer.
Yeah. I thought you were on about the mystery.
Oh no. The budget went on Austin's beer.
Oh, there was a lot of
There was a lot of beer.
And not a lot of it got into anyone's mouth. We'll get to it. We'll get to
that.
Okay, Seth's in the ring after the Hindu choir have dispersed. He's like gearing up, like, who is it? Who's it gonna be? He's all ready. The lights start going down.
Big bunch of pyro blows off.
Loads of pyro. All the lights go. The lights on the ring and everything. Do you wanna?
No, carry on.
And then you just hear there's more than one royal family in wrestling. I can't remember how
Wrestling
it goes.
has more than
Wrestling
one royal
has
family.
more than one royal family. I'm just messing everything up today. That one. That's where I
Followed by
wanted you to do it.
Adrenaline.
Yeah. So
Kingdom, sorry.
Kingdom.
Kingdom is the name of the song.
That's right.
Adrenaline is part of the... Yeah, I always get that mixed up.
It's alright, we're both messing up.
And then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
And it's literally an American Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
Yes. I'm so glad they didn't try and do anything. I don't think they could have.
So, in between, I've kind of had a little look at, while Leanne was prepping for record and whatnot, and I did see a brief interview with Cody after WrestleMania, and he said that he met with Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon, and Nick Khan.
Yeah.
They flew to see Cody. They didn't fly Cody in to see them.
Yeah.
And he said, if we're doing this, it's Kingdom, it's American Nightmare, it's me. And they were like, and Vince apparently said, well, it ain't broke.
Good.
And he acknowledged that Cody did it. He acknowledged that Cody went out 6 years ago, made himself into what he is, which was much better than anything WWE did with him.
Yeah. That must have been such a
He said that was
moment.
the culmination of the first go-around, I think is the way he put it in this interview. And now it's time for the second go-around.
Okay. So he's proven himself that he can do it, and he didn't
on his
need
own,
to be.
no less.
He didn't need to be what they wanted him to be, and now he's back.
But still, how long till they put Stardust back on?
It's the moment they show him a Stardust costume, he's out of there. I guarantee it.
I bet that's in his contract.
Yeah.
I reckon that's it. He's got to have a get-out clause in his contract because he knows what they're like.
Yeah, he knows. He's been through it once before.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it's Kingdom, because I've always felt like that music is a dig at WWE. It's like, they've done this to me, but they can't keep me down. This is who I am, and this is where I'm going. And just to be able to play that at a WWE event must have just...
A WrestleMania, no less.
I know.
On the grandest stage of them all, as they say.
Uh-huh.
You know.
I mean, it was a really good match, this was. I don't think it could be anything else with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes.
The one thing that did bug me, though, is that, again, it was Cody hits the crossroads and Seth kicks out.
Yeah.
Again, they're cheapening finishes.
It was. There were a couple of moments as well where it felt like it was a bit slightly out of step. Some cues might have been missed or slightly off.
Mistiming.
But again, they did well to keep it going and make the most of those situations, which is what you want to see. I put it's a masterclass in countering.
It was.
So many, just like trying to put a move on and gets counted. Next move, counted. Next move, counted from both of them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't one-sided at all. It was pretty evenly balanced, this match, which I think they had to do if you're bringing in someone that's been...
You don't want to make Seth look cheap.
No.
And weak.
No.
But you also don't want to have Seth squash Cody.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I put Seth kicks out of the crossroads, which again, finishing move. But WrestleMania, if you're going to do it, but it depends, I guess, if they keep doing it.
Yeah.
Or if they say that was a one-time thing.
Because of the hype of WrestleMania, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Because it's okay. Right. So Cody wins.
Yeah. Understandably, yeah. That was obvious, yeah.
Yeah, he pulls off 2 crossroads in a row. And then he goes to the Dusty Punches.
Yes, that's
I think
right.
they're called Dusty Punches. And a bionic elbow.
Which was his, yeah. So he'd jab, do the rolling, boom, elbow on the head. Good old Dusty.
So good. Some classics, proper throwbacks. And then another crossroads. And then pins.
Just for good measure. They did. I think someone hit the pedigree. I can't remember who hit the pedigree on who, though.
Oof.
I think it was Cody hit it on Seth.
I think
And
so.
that has to be a dig at Triple H.
Yeah.
Especially you think of sort of the first AEW pay-per-view, All Out.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes out with a sledgehammer and wrecks a throne that looks like Triple H. And
Yeah.
that's got to be like Cody hitting a pedigree on Seth Rollins. Has to be a dig at Triple H, right?
It's gotta be. I bet Triple H loves it though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I bet absolutely.
I think.
I reckon he'd be stoked that Cody went out there and did what he did.
Yes.
Because he proved the old man wrong.
Yeah. So Triple H is so loyal to WWE, but I think he, if out of anyone, understands what it's like and understands the people who are leaving, what they've been through and why they need to go, especially after what's happened with NXT. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, Triple H is just awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he loved having a bit of a dig at him, and he'll dig back if he ever gets a chance, I'm sure. Okay. So that was that one. Then we had a recap of the Hall of Fame, which happened after SmackDown on
That seemed to go on really long.
It did. They went through all of them.
No, they're out of time.
Which was...
It was only... The thing is, and I mentioned this, is that it was quite a small... I'm Sean Connery. Apparently I'm Sean Connery. A small class.
Yeah.
It was only 5 inductees.
Yeah.
Whereas usually there's a few more. You've got the honourable mentions kind of wing. You've got the celebrity people that usually go in. And it's like, how did this feel longer than normal?
You know how, though?
Because Undertaker can't stop running his mouth.
Yeah. His speech was so long, but I think they allowed for it to be long.
Vince, I bet you went, take as long as you want.
Yeah, because everyone else was like limited to 3-4 minutes, I think.
Well, I don't know if that was a joke or not.
Briscoe's like, we had 4 minutes and you used 3. Yeah.
Briscoe?
Steiners. Wrong brothers. Messing up again.
It's not them boys. It's
not them
the
boys.
Steiners. Yeah.
Sorry. Too many brothers. But yeah, they then had all of the Hall of Fame class coming out one by one on their stars.
Yeah.
Which was nice. And then Undertaker, his bit obviously takes forever because they do pyro and then the music's quite slow and he's walking out real slow, just drinking it in. He deserves that spotlight. But it does make things take a bit longer. Cool, so that was that bit. Then they had a recap of the Pat McAfee and Austin Theory stuff. Yay. Just glance right over that now. And then we move on to the SmackDown Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Some good spots in there, definitely.
Yeah, this was the one that I'd said that I was looking forward to most. It didn't end up being my favourite match of the night, which I think is actually quite obvious that would have happened. But yeah, I mean, it was good to see Ronda beating Charlotte.
That was a big sigh.
I was reading my notes like, oh yeah, sad times.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we got this one wrong as well.
Yeah.
Much to our annoyance. Much to the absolute BS ending.
Yeah. So I can just get straight to that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ronda, I'm not quite sure what caused it to happen, but Ronda ended up basically throwing Charlotte into the ref, like spear style. So it looked like Charlotte speared the ref full on.
I think she might have been trying to go for an armbar.
Yeah.
And
sort
she kind of rolled back and Charlotte followed through.
Yeah. So ref's out. As it happens, classic ref bump. Ronda then gets an armbar on Charlotte and Charlotte's tapping.
Instantly tapped.
Yeah. So then Ronda's like, because there's no ref.
Just one quick thing, because you skipped over something, is that's technically the second time she won the match.
Yes, of course.
Because she pinned, after a Piper's Pit, pinned Charlotte Flair, and Flair put her foot on the ropes, and the referee actually counted 3, and then was like, "Oh no, don't count it. I just saw the foot on the ropes." And Ronda's like,
It did a 3 count.
she beat Charlotte twice.
Yeah. So
Sick of Charlotte Flair.
Ronda realizes the ref's down, goes to get him up, yells at him to get up. He's like, all right, I'll get up. Poor ref.
Charles Robinson.
He's good. But Charlotte just kicks Ronda in the face.
Ronda's taken much harder blows than that.
Yeah. And then pins her with the most lazy cover I've seen in a championship match.
It's terrible.
It was really bad. She didn't cover the top half of her at all, pretty much. It's like, come on, that's not believable.
Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman on the planet, and you do a dirty like that, Vince.
Not good. So Charlotte retains.
And apparently Ric Flair at some point after that said that was the greatest women's match he's ever seen.
It had its
I
moments.
think
It
Ric
wasn't
Flair
again.
needs glasses.
I think he's a little bit biased.
I think Ric Flair needs to get off social media.
I think Ric Flair needs to watch some AEW. They had some great women's matches. So that's that one. Then we had a recap of Lashley. It wasn't even a recap of the feud. It was just
the history
Lashley.
of Lashley. It was the same with the Sasha Banks one earlier in the night. They've shown this one a few times.
Like why? Why? And then you had a recap of the Reigns and Lesnar thing. Recap.
But then I guess for that they but then they could have done the recap for the next part segment. So just setting up that ring.
Yeah. Yeah, true. They got to do things. Because then we move on to the main event. And I'm going to let you take the main event.
No, go on. This is your part of the show.
But this is your part of the show.
I'll jump in when I need to. Don't you worry
Straight
about
away.
That. Don't you worry
All right.
about that. Stone Cold!
Kevin Owens show. Yeah. Yay.
So, I can understand having recaps to set up things like the counters, put the chairs in the ring, put the signs in. That's great, fantastic. But do we need a Lashley vignette that's probably 3 or 4 minutes long, followed by the Lesnar Reigns build-up, which is probably about the same length, followed by the recap to the KO show?
Yeah.
So you're looking at about 15 minutes of gumph.
Yeah.
At that point.
And the ring was probably set up during that first one.
I guess the only other reasoning would be toilet breaks for the crowd.
Yeah.
But,
Is that long enough for a toilet break in an arena?
Probably not.
You have to queue. Is it not?
That's what beer cups are for, right? Most people are just going to do that.
And throw them at people.
Leanne, we've been to festivals. You know what it's like.
I know.
Not that we would ever do that, but we've seen it. Remember that guy in was it the waffle stand?
Don't.
That's all I'm going to say about that. We're just going to leave that one clinging on a little bit.
It was a crumble stand.
It was a crumble. Okay, yeah, correct. Yeah.
On that note, it's time for the signs of the Flair. The signs of the Wrestlemania edition.
Stupendous edition.
Stupendous.
Part 1.
There were a lot of signs.
I just want to point out one thing. If your top sign isn't Stone Cold Steve Austin related, you are eating a stunner.
Let me just swap
put the sign down. Put the sign down. I got the sign. Continue. Continue.
Oh, no.
Please.
I should have used post-it notes.
Sign. They're not sticky enough.
I can't sellotape it on because we need the PPV for AEW. Anyways, signs. There were lots of signs. Most of them were your generic.
What were there more of?
I am here sat in this chair ones.
What were there more of? Signs or Stone Cold shirts?
More Stone Cold shirts, probably. There were a lot of Stone Cold signs as well. Mostly Austin 316.
I wonder how many of those are the original Austin 316 shirt.
I know.
This one is the new version. I do have an original Austin 316 shirt.
Yes.
With the smoking skull. It's different.
So.
Sorry, continue. I'm derailing this. So
there weren't many sort of segment-worthy signs, I suppose, but I picked some out. The first one's going to make you angry, which is why I've picked it.
Okay.
McAfee equals ratings.
I'm so glad I didn't see that sign. I'm gonna go to my office to rant.
In what world? In what universe? That's my question. Someone loves him. He was a lot more toned down. I don't know. Apparently he equals ratings.
He doesn't.
You
know what McAfee's ratings are? In the toilet. Because he equals 0 ratings. Go back to football, you...
All right. In second place is a Steve Austin sign. On the 8th day, God created Steve
I
Austin.
saw that one. Oh, hell yeah.
I did like that one. The problem is, not many of the Steve Austin signs were like creative ones. They were just, we love Steve Austin. Texas loves Steve Austin. 316. It's like, yeah, cool. Everyone's got that. Thanks. Number 1, which it had more words on it than I could read. It looked to me like it was some sort of proposal in a sign, but not all the words you could read. So to me, it just said "Marry Me, Wrestlemania," because they were the big letters. I think it said something like, "I asked someone to marry me and she said yes at WrestleMania." That's what I think it said, but there was no way to read it. So it was "Marry Me, WrestleMania."
And that sounds better than on the 8th day, God created Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It had more of a story to it.
We will talk about this later, Leanne.
This is my segment.
We will talk
I set
about
the criteria.
this later.
I set the criteria for this segment.
Do you know what you're having for dinner tonight? A Stone Cold Stunner. It's coming.
Leanne signs of the PLE. Leanne signs of the Black WrestleMania edition.
She might be talking with a broken throat tomorrow.
Broken throat. If you were doing the segment, you can put them in whatever order you want, alright?
My segment non-existent because Pat McAfee was tame.
Sorry.
Either that or I just wasn't listening to his stupid ass.
I don't think he was saying much, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he gassed himself dancing too much.
I reckon he's nervous about getting beaten by Austin Theory.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, back to the KO show.
Yep.
So Kevin Owens comes out. He's got the 2 chairs in the ring and his KO show stand thingies.
Yeah, the 2 signs.
The crowd's already chanting for
We want Austin.
We want Austin. And Kevin Owens says, "I'll bring out Austin when I say I will," kind of thing. And then starts going off on how he hates Texas and
how it's worse than he expected.
Yeah, he apologizes for telling the truth about Texas rather than for saying mean things. Starts talking rubbish about Stone Cold. And at some point, so Kevin Owens says, "And that's not all, I got more to say." Glass shatters.
Crowd goes wild.
And Steve Austin takes his sweet time to get down to the ring.
I think he's more soaking in the crowd.
Yeah, for sure. So he comes down a little way, walks back, goes to the side of the stage so that side of the crowd gets to see him. Comes back to the middle, points to the other side, off he goes to see them. Sort of doing his whole way, hello.
No middle fingers though.
No middle fingers. He did middle fingers later on.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, not of that. Then he comes back to the middle, starts walking down the ramp, turns around.
It's almost like he's like, I can't be bothered for this walk.
Walks back. Kevin Owens is like, he's running away, he's scared. But no, comes out on, what did you call
It's
it?
an ATV.
An ATV?
All-terrain vehicle.
That one. I thought it was a quad bike. Is it different?
It's the quad bike wheel's usually bigger.
ATV. You learn something new every day. And he just drives down to the ring.
I don't know if you've seen him do this before.
No, I don't think so.
Did you notice how fast he's going around that ring?
So quick. Just around those tight corners.
Do you know when they started doing this, right? I can't remember who it was that said, maybe you need to slow down on the corners, you're going to flip over. He's like, no, you accelerate into the corners and that's what makes the vehicle grip. So when he's going around the corners, he accelerates because that actually makes it more handleable.
That's cool.
And he's like,
going round and round.
And Kevin's in the ring and he's like...
He's like sat down at this point. He yawns as well at some point. Austin comes into the ring, starts doing the 4 corners. So
he goes to the first and he boots the KO sign.
Yeah.
Demolishes it, throws it out of the ring.
Up on the ropes up on turnbuckle to do the thing. Corner on the opposite side, goes up to do the thing. Then he goes around to the next corner, demolishes that sign. He's about to get up to do it, and then Kevin Owens basically interrupts.
I thought he's just sort of stood there and he's still holding the ropes and he's like...
You what? So yeah, interruption. Kevin Owens basically says, sit down. We're just here to talk. It's my show. And then he does sit down. Steve Austin sits down. Has a little chat, I guess. Well, Kevin Owens just talks more
Rants, basically.
more rubbish about Texas and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Like if looks could kill,
Mm-hmm.
KO would be 6 foot under.
That death glare. And then it comes out that Kevin Owens wasn't just there to have a chat. He actually brought tricked Stone Cold Steve Austin to come to the ring so that he could challenge him to a match. A no-holds-barred match. And then starts talking about how Stone Cold isn't going to accept because his knees are bad, his back's bad,
His neck's bad.
and he can't do it, basically. But Stone Cold accepts.
Well, he does the whole spiel of, if you want to see me open a can of whoop ass on... Well,
Yes.
I'm not going to say the exact words because this is a PG friendly. Give me a hell yeah. And the crowd's like, hell yeah. It's like, I didn't hear you. Give me a hell yeah. And the crowd goes even louder and he's like, give me a gut. Referee down here. Because he usually uses GD quite a lot.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm just like, what? What's going on? What?
It's like not just a match. They're going to have a no-holds-barred match. And this guy hasn't had a match for a long time.
19 years.
It's crazy. But it was great. It was really, really good. I very much enjoyed it. I know you did. Because just Kevin Owens getting thrown around the place.
And who's doing it? Stone Cold. If there's anyone else, fair enough. But it's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guy I've sort of followed the career of since 96.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up into an adult watching Stone Cold Steve Austin. And to see him come back 19 years later.
It's amazing. There were lots of beers drunk.
A hell of a lot of beers. During the match.
During the match. He just put his hand out. A beer would fly straight to it. Crazy. Some good throwing. You just open it up.
The former timekeeper was much better. You'd see that stuff. Austin would be halfway up the ramp and he would do this and he would go straight to his hand.
Crazy.
It's like, what?
There were some misses, but it always strikes me that it's it gets fizzed up as it's thrown, then he opens it and loads of it sort of comes out because it's fizzed up, and then he's waving it about, loads of it's coming out, and then he just goes
That's the
like
whole
that.
point though, isn't it?
And he goes everywhere.
If he drank the whole can, he'd be tanked.
I know, it seems like such a waste. That stuff wouldn't be cheap. I know he owns the
That's
brewery.
why everyone else had rubbish entries. Stone Cold's beer budget. I'm telling you.
Oh, it's crazy. They went into the crowd. They went up the ramp on the ATV. I was thinking of R for some reason. Yeah, I mean, a few stunners. It wasn't overly stunner, but
Yeah. Well, Kevin Owens hits one.
Yeah.
Austin kicks out, and Kevin Owens and then Austin hits one and pins Kevin Owens.
Yep. Oh, but that finish though, because it wasn't just about the stunner. Because before the stunner, Kevin Owens has a chair.
Oh yeah.
Goes to hit Stone Cold with the chair. Stone Cold moves out the way. Chair hits the ropes, rebounds, and hits Kevin Owens in the face.
Square in the face.
Which was just picture perfect.
And I think you literally said, I've never seen that before.
I know. And you said, it has happened before,
Yeah.
but not since I've been watching.
No, well, this is before they stopped taking headshots. So
Yes. He just headshotted himself and takes a stunner, gets pinned. It's just brilliant. It was really good. It was exactly what the fans wanted, I think. And what Kevin Owens wanted probably as well.
Yeah.
Because I know, despite everything, he is a huge Stone Cold fan. Who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
It's good. And then more beers.
Another stunner for KO.
Another stunner for KO.
Some police enforcement from Texas
Yeah.
came down to drag his ass out.
Saxton gets in the ring for a beer and gets a stunner.
Yeah, thank
As
God for that.
expected. Stone Cold restrains himself from pouring a beer over Saxton though.
Yeah,
So that's nice.
He did toast with the ref.
He toasted with the ref, yeah. It's good. It's a really good end to the night. I think finish on a high.
In my mind, this should have been the ending for Sunday night.
Yeah, because going into
Because
Sunday
screw Roman
now,
Reigns.
It's going to feel a bit like a down. I think that's the problem as well with having two nights, is you're always going to, whatever the main event is on the Saturday, it's going to be a high.
Yeah.
And then Sunday will start again at base level and then ramp back up.
Yeah.
And it's just going to feel like that start of Sunday is going to be much lower than the start of Saturday.
Yeah.
Because you've had that ramp up already, and then you just go back down.
Not only that, but think of like all the people who like stuff. I don't like beer. I don't like lager. I just don't like the taste of it. But everyone who generally will be there on the Saturday night will be drinking beers. They'll be celebrating Stone Cold, coming out of retirement, and having one more match.
Yeah.
They're going to be absolutely wasted. And then they're going to get up today, or whatever time, hungover to high hell.
If they even make it to the arena, it's going to be dead.
They'll turn up in time for the Roman Reigns match. And I'm like, what? 77,000 people. Where are they? You know?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the most WrestleMania.
No.
I know it's not over yet, but...
Again, I think, especially for me, is the Stone Cold thing overshadowed everything else.
Yes, I think so.
And I'm going to put it right now. Match of the night, Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Hands down.
No question.
Without a question.
I think Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes is up there.
Yeah,
but
if I had to pick, like, if Austin wasn't on this, the top match would have been Seth and Cody.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
But as it stands, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, it was really special.
This is something we're never going to see again, most likely. He had his first match in Dallas. This is his last match in Dallas.
Yeah.
And it gets rid of that annoying loss to The Rock.
Yes.
At WrestleMania 19.
Very true. It's like, I didn't grow up watching wrestling, so I didn't grow up watching Austin. So to be able to have the opportunity to see that, and obviously I can go back and watch old matches, but it's not the same as watching the current stuff.
And the thing is that because you're watching it like we are now, it's not COVID. Because we're watching it like we are, and we watch it every week, and we watch the pay-per-views and that.
Yeah.
If you're just going back and watching like we have done with the best of Austin in WWE after 316 Day, and it's like, well, okay, great. So you're going Austin match, Austin promo, Austin promo, Austin match, Austin promo, and you're not really getting the full picture. To do that, you have to go back and watch every piece of Monday Night Raw. Every piece of Shock and Saturday Night, if they're on the network. All the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
You know, because that's where the long-term story comes into it. Where the whole Austin comes in and everyone hates him, and then they start swinging and they start cheering him, and then he turns on the boss, and then he gets the title, and it's and you get the whole thing, because that's where you're getting from. So, like I said, you can go back and watch.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's the surprise as well, because like, the whole world, apart from the people who like wrote it and were involved, did not know that this was going to end in being a no-holds-barred match. People could have speculated, but I think most people thought there might be a brawl or might be a short match.
Couple of
but
stunners,
not to this level. I don't think many people
I think it went for 15, maybe 20 minutes.
At least, yeah. So to be part of that, you know, it's something that I'm really grateful that I got the chance to do, because a lot of wrestlers that have retired aren't going to come back.
Or aren't no longer with us. Look at Scott Hall.
I won't get the chance to ever see those people in this way. So, yeah, I'm really grateful that this opportunity was here. And it wasn't like a Undertaker coming back for a match that doesn't go great because he's, you know, not in the best shape kind of thing. This was a
Or because his opponent isn't in the best shape.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, good. I did enjoy what ups and downs. I'm looking forward, I think, to WrestleMania Sunday. I don't think it's going to be as good as Saturday by a long shot. There's too many matches I'm not looking forward to on it, I think.
I want to see Lesnar get his hands on Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That'd be cool. Yeah. So...
Did you want to change any predictions leading into this?
I don't know if that's cheating.
Oh no, because it hasn't happened yet.
What have we got? So we had McAfee versus Theory. We both said Theory.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with that. Zayn versus Knoxville. We both said Knoxville. I think I'll stick with that.
Yeah.
Lashley versus Omos. We both said Lashley.
I'm keeping all mine just as a...
Sticking with that.
Yeah.
Edge versus Styles. I said Edge. I think I'm going to stick. I know you said Styles, but I'm not going to change it just because you have. Then we got Liv and Rhea versus Shayna and Natalya versus Banks and Naomi versus Vega and Carmella.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that Vega and Carmella would retain. Yeah, I think I'll stick. RK Bro versus Alpha Academy versus Profits. RK Bro, yep, they're winning. And then Lesnar versus Reigns. Yeah, I'm sticking.
Okay, cool.
I'm sticking with everything.
Awesome.
So, enjoy WrestleMania Sunday. If you haven't already, you can go back and watch our predictions for Sunday. So I'll put a card somewhere around here. So
Obviously, we've just given the quick run of the predictions, but we do go into a lot more stuff.
Yeah, and sort of how we think things will play out, kind of thing.
And
so
how they should have brought Cody back in my mind.
Yes, yeah, that was some interesting theories. So go see what would have been better potentially. We'll be back with reactions to Sunday at some point in the near future. Hopefully on Monday evening.
Yeah, it'll be Monday at some point. Depends on when you can get out of work, I guess.
Yeah. Good
old week off.
work. It's right for some. Thank you so much for watching this reactions video to WrestleMania Saturday. If you liked it, please click that like button. Leave a comment. What was your favourite match? What's your favourite Stone Cold moment? Let us know.
There's too many.
There's so many. Pick one favourite and only. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to be notified when we drop new videos, including our WrestleMania Sunday reactions when that drops. Follow us on socials. Our details are in the description below. And until next time, enjoy WrestleMania weekend. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.